Today on Untitled, I'll be taking apart the smallest Pico projector that I have, and that is the Smart Beam, made by INNOIO, or INNOIO, or INNOIO. And one of those I am sure is phonetically correct. This thing is a pretty basic video projector. Doesn't have an SD card slot or anything else like that. Just has the MHL slash mini HDMI port there, a power button, focus wheel, and USB micro for charging. Other than that, its biggest feature is its size. It measures at about 1.8 inches cubed, and it is tinier than the Rift 6 projector that I took apart in other videos. In fact, this thing is so tiny, I have single optical components from larger video projectors that just dwarf this. Now look at the size of this thing. It's really tiny. Another feature about this projector is that it comes with its own little silicone prophylactic case to protect it. And as you can see, it's done a pretty good job, as this thing is in pretty good condition. Hopefully a condition we can keep it in as we tear it apart. It looks like the first thing that I'm going to have to do in order to get this projector apart is to remove the front and back pieces of plastic. So my plan is to heat up the pieces of plastic, hopefully not melt them, and I'll use this suction cup to hopefully pull those away from the rest of the projector. So I'm going to get the heat gun out, I'm going to warm it up, see how well that goes. I'm going to start with the back side first. I'd rather damage that learning instead of damaging the front. So here we go, warming it up. Oh, and we're in. Other side. Well, that didn't go as planned. Oh well. I'm not gonna stop here. My only regret is that this stuff acts like glitter and gets everywhere. What a mess to clean up. At this point, we now have 8 screws, 4 on each side to undo, and hopefully that will free up these plastic pieces. What I'm really interested in seeing is how they set in this focus wheel and how that will come out. Well, let's take out those 4 screws on both sides and see what we get. Interesting. Very interesting. Nice little speaker in there. Looks to be soldered on. Well, that's interesting. I knew that focus wheel was gonna be trouble. See, that goes to the fan on the top. Go ahead, disconnect that. Not sure what that goes to. Figure that out later. The battery is soldered in. A little connector here. Hey, we're getting somewhere. What is that getting stuck on? Alright. I think got it. Sure do. Just underneath this little shield here. Not all too much. The LED here for charging. Little grounding tabs to the outside of the projector case. 2200 milliamp hour battery. Is that one cell or two cells? I think that's only one. That's a big battery. Let me pull out the optical engine now. I'm betting the optical engine needs to be freed up. It looks like there's a little spacer right here that needs to be pulled out before the rest of the optical engine can be. I'm going to see if I can remove that spacer and then I'll slide the optical engine this way. So that's how they got the focus wheel where it is. Interesting. Very interesting. A little fan there on the top. That's nice. Nice little heat sink assembly on there. for the looks like the DMD chip. Yep, that goes here. So underneath this area is where the DMD is. Let's continue taking it apart. Alright, looks like there's a couple of screws holding the optical engine onto the heat sink itself. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those. Nope, no screw there. Well, this should just separate. I'm missing a screw somewhere. I bet you that's it. All right, now we can pull this apart. So here's the heatsink assembly. Betting that this goes on the LEDs. Sure looks like it does. And here's the little optical engine. What a tiny little device. And here I'm betting it's going to be the red and green LED, or red and blue LED, and it's going to be the green LED here. And we'll confirm that in a little bit once we get this pulled apart a little bit more. And I'll hook it back up to the motherboard here so you can see exactly what's going on the inside. It's powered up. Ooh. Side's going to give us a view of the optical track. That feels like flat plastic. Let's pull off the top here. See what we get. That's not what we want. Other side. Well, that's the lens focusing assembly. Also not what we want. That's got to be another piece then. Oh yeah, I see a screw. That's a good sign. That means this is a metal cover and should lift off. Oh, there's another screw here. I see it. Glad I caught that one. And we're in. Very nice. So about is what I expected. Looks like we have the the red and blue LEDs here, and the two dichroic pieces of glass that mix the red and the blue with the green LED here. So the white light comes in through here. Got this little micro lens arrangement for making the light more even. Another little lens right here, mirror here, and then got that little funky prism thing. So green light comes through here, red light, blue light coming through here. They get reflected off these two pieces of dichroic glass. It makes the cycling red, green, and blue light here, which reflects off this mirror up this way through this lens. And that hits the DMD in the back here. When the DMD light reflects off the DMD, it bounces against here. It gets reflected out this way through the focusing assembly. Let's hook it up and see how it runs. I'm only going to get the output image of the Please Connect, but that should be enough to give us an idea of what this looks like during operation. On. Yup. I bet I don't like the fact they don't have a fan. Fine, plug that in too. Alrighty. On. Video coming out. Oh yeah. Still works just fine. Let's free up the DMD. And the DMD is underneath this area right here. It's probably held in by 2 screws. Now we're going to remove this right here. Stick it somewhere. And pull out the DMD. It's a fairly low resolution DMD compared to the other projectors that I have. But hopefully we can get some good images of it running once I hook it up to my laptop's HDMI. Little connector right there. And then the DMD. So that's removed, little bracket. And here's the actual DMD chip itself. Cool. Yeah, it looks to be a little 4:3 aspect ratio DMD, not a widescreen. Let's hook this up, see what it does. Cool. Right now I have an HDMI signal coming from my laptop and going into the Pico Projector, and all I have running is the bare digital mirror device without the LEDs or other optics. Now the native aspect ratio of the DMD is 4:3, but I'm sending it a widescreen video signal, and as a result you'll notice that the lower third of the DMD isn't doing anything. Let's get a closer look at that. You'll notice that the video image coming off the DMD is in grayscale, and that's due to how a DLP projector works. What they do is they draw the red, green, and blue portions of the video image sequentially, and they do it quick enough that your brain sees it as a regular full color video. And this is why if you're watching a DLP projector, and if you move your head real quick, you'll notice these rainbow artifacts. That's really cool though. Let's get this under the microscope so we can get a much closer view on it. Now the real question is, can I get this put back together into a functional projector? Well, let's find out. And there it is. Now that I've taken apart this smart beam projector, I really can't say much good about it. It's definitely a little toy designed for people who like things that are small and satisfyingly square. Other than that, its capabilities are extremely limited. It has no standalone functions, so no SD card slot or anything else like that, and does require another device for a video signal. Its output brightness is about 10 lumens, and I believe the native resolution is something like 480 by 320, so the image you're going to get from this is extremely poor. Not bad on the sound quality though. The one thing I don't like about its construction is that the internal battery has some exposed areas, and normally on a lithium ion cell like that, the outside of the case is positive, and it comes in a pretty close contact with the aluminum frame here, which as you've seen is also part of the grounding circuit on the main board on the inside. So I'm kind of a little concerned at the safety of the projector and the battery on the inside. I want to do a quick follow-up here on the RIF6 Cube. It's a much better projector, and it's amazing what a fraction of an inch will do. The resolution on this is actually really good, and its output brightness is much better. So I'm going to readjust the tripod. I'm going to show you what I found out about this. On an earlier YouTube video, I got two of these RIF6 mobile projectors, and I managed to fix them both. However, there's a problem. They do require a remote control in order to operate, and those can be very hard to find. In the comment section on that video, somebody recommended the application INNOIO, and I finally found a phone that has an IR blaster on the front, of which I can now use to control the RIF6 Cube. However, like the comment said, there's a little bit of a glitch to using the INNOIO app. I'm going to turn on the projector. I want to show you exactly what I mean by a little glitch. So, turn on the projector. I'm going to turn off the light here. You can see the projector output. A very nice image, very bright image. Actually a really good projector. Alright, now we're in the menu screen, and the problem is that anytime you press a button on the INNOIO application, it registers as 2 clicks. So for example, if I click the button over to the left, it'll do it twice. And that gets annoying. So what you have to do, if you're using the INNOIO app, is you have to kind of trick it. So press a button going to the right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move it over onto the top of the projector, so that way the IR receiver in the back doesn't receive it. So I can now control it properly, like that. Let's go to video and test it out. Oh, picked up 2 signals. Here we go. Alright, so once again, showing you the problem. Let's play this video. Once again, I have to move it over to the top of the projector so that way it actually plays correctly, otherwise it won't. So if I don't move it, it brings up the menu. Make that go away. Go back here. Back. If it only registers 1 click, you won't see the menu on the bottom, so do it again. My only complaint about the Rift 6 projector is that it's a very quiet projector. There's one button on the INNOIO app that works correctly. That's the off button. That's only because you can turn off a device only once. Another Pico projector that I have is the Shure WX, manufactured by Microvision. And this particular projector does not use a liquid crystal and silicon or a digital mirror device to form an image, but instead has 3 colors of lasers inside that come together into one beam, and that beam is steered by a very tiny mirror here in the front. So much like a CRT screen, it draws a rasterized video image line by line. It's a video project that me and my friend Jeremiah from Join the Technicians are working on doing, and hopefully together we can come up with a very comprehensive video on how these work. Another thing that I picked up for the video is a bunch of these little micro mirror devices that came from Shure WX's, and I want to reverse engineer them and get a good understanding of how they work, so that way you can use these in your own projects. If you want to support this channel, one of the best things to do is to send in a small, broken, optical electronic device. So basically anything that has a battery and a lens in it, I will gladly take. Whether it suffered a catastrophic fall, has been set on fire, dropped in a toilet, or run over by a small vehicle, I will gladly accept your broken wares. I like a challenge in fixing things more than I enjoy just taking apart a working item. Even if it's for the sake of science and exploration, for me, it's just more satisfying when I have a problem of which I can hopefully solve. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, stay tuned for more.